So great catching up with my next guest. He always makes time and I always appreciate it. It's Curtis Blaydes, who is still in the UK. He's going back tomorrow, but he did make some time here tonight as he's about to fly out. Curtis, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Not as good as you, though, man. How's London been treating you? I know you've been playing tourist this last weekend a bit.
Yeah, it's been a lot of footing it around because we wanted to like explore. It's a lot of old architecture out here, a lot of historical buildings. We got to see the river. We got to see Big Ben, all the hot spots, all the touristy spots. It's been fun though. The food hasn't been the best though. I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. A little
No,
disappointed.
hey, I like the honesty there. Was the plan always to stay there for that long? Did you have that planned, or did you extend your stay because of what happened in the fight? Okay, so yeah, I wasn't sure about that. So that's good, man.
Yeah. We booked these like as soon as I got the fight. I knew I was like, we're gonna hang out afterwards, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's one of the benefits of being a fighter. You get to travel the world. Good thing I got you on here. Obviously, one of your past opponents just fought over the weekend. Everyone's been talking about it. Derrick Lewis, Sergey Pavlovich. A lot of people are saying it's an early stoppage with Pavlovich getting the first round finish. When you were watching it live, what was your initial reaction?
You can't face Plant as a heavyweight. It don't look good. Like I will admit, he wasn't out, but you face Plant at heavyweight. What's the ref going to do? It reminds me of what happened to me versus Ngannou in Beijing. Like I dropped 3 times. I wasn't out ever, but you can't keep hitting a knee at heavyweight. It just doesn't look good.
Do you think had the fight gone on longer that Lewis would have recovered in time, or like what? I mean, because again, he was taking a lot of shots there. Pavlovich was really swarming him, right?
Yeah. Derrick Lewis, he has a unique ability to like eat punches in that weird, awkward way. It's not really. I don't even know how to describe it, but like he almost invites you to like bum rush him because that's what he wants. And maybe he could have countered him, or maybe Pavlovich takes him down, and then it gets even worse from there. I guess we'll never know, but I'm not gonna blame her. But I also understand why people are saying it was a bit early. I get it. But again, you cannot face Plant as a heavyweight. Just looks bad.
Do you think they do the rematch? Is it needed, or do you think they're going to move on from it? Just again, I know you're not the matchmaker, but I was just curious your thoughts on that.
If I'm Pavlovich, I say no. I say I won. No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Eric, I guess if he really wanted to cause a big enough stink about it, but I don't think he even cares. He still got paid. I don't think he even cares that much.
Okay, fair enough. And where does Lewis go from here? Obviously it is a loss in his record, regardless of what you thought of the stoppage. Like that's a couple knockout losses he's had now. Where do you think he goes from here?
Him versus Augusta Sakai, or have they already fought? I don't know.
They haven't fought, but I think Sakai is actually fighting this weekend.
Oh, is he? Oh, shoot. Well,
yeah.
Well,
he's fighting Spivak.
If he wins, maybe you give him the Derrick.
So yeah, the winner of that fight actually would make sense because they haven't fought, right? It's like one of the few fights of Lewis that he hasn't had. Anyways, enough about Derrick Lewis. Let's get to you, man. Obviously, weird fight with what happened with you with Aspinall and everything. The dust has definitely settled since then. In terms of the result and everything. How have fans treated this whole thing? Because I'm sure at first people were like, but it was just such an awkward thing. I think that's the best way to describe it. Is the finish and everything was very awkward.
I mean, from what I've seen and what I've heard, like with my own eyes and ears, everyone understands. Like the way we started out that fight, we were scrapping. I don't think it would have gotten out of the first. Maybe it would, but I was ready to stand my ground, and he was being the aggressor, and that's usually not the norm. A lot of guys they don't want to be that aggressive. I guess he did. He really honestly believed in his jiu-jitsu. And, yeah, I think it was going to be a barn burner. But I think people understand it wasn't anything I did. I came here with the intent to put on the scrap, and I was doing that. And then a freak injury happens. So it just sometimes, especially because the same thing almost happened a week before with Ortega. Like
Yeah.
it happens. It's unfortunate, but injuries are part of the game.
It's happened a lot this year, actually, if you think about it, right? You go back to Alexander Rakic and Jan Blachowicz, you've got Ortega and Rodriguez, and then we just had one this weekend with Anthony Smith, right? He hurt himself, and Ankalaev was able to put him away, so it's been happening a lot. So at least you're kind of, it's not like you're alone in the category, right? It happens, right, with the injuries and everything. I know it was only 15 seconds, but I mean, you were looking good. Like the hands were flying. It seemed like you were hitting your target. How did you feel there for that 15 seconds?
I felt good. Like I'm not going to give you the cliche. I was the most prepared I've ever been. I'm always prepared.
Yeah.
But I felt I was in the zone. Like I knew where he was going to be. This is one of the few knocks on him. When he attacks, he doesn't take his head offline. We knew that. So we knew I just had to be faster. Or not faster, but timing. I had to time his entry and be able to meet him. And I was off in those first 3 exchanges like an inch. But I think I would have been able to find my timing eventually. Had he just kept coming in and out like the in and out, I think I would have been able to find it.
So take me to after the fight. One of the things I love about this sport is, the camaraderie and all that, and you and Tom sharing that beer together. Take me through that entire thing. So did you go up to his team? Like, how did that all come together?
I was in my room. My father, he comes in my room. He's like, "Hey, we're going upstairs. We're gonna have a beer with Aspinall and his people." I was like, okay." I guess my dad was in the lobby, and he had spoken with Aspinall's dad, and I guess it was an idea that they came up with. I wasn't against it, obviously. I don't think I would have reached out because I really didn't know how. I don't know how you approach someone after what happened.
With an injury, yeah.
Thankfully, my dad handled all that. We go upstairs. We get there. Everyone's super nice, super friendly. It's all about the sport. He's a sportsman, martial artist. I respect the hell out of him. I respect the hell out of all his team. Obviously, his coaches, they've coached him in the right way. He's like me. He doesn't feel the need to have fake hate or fake beef in order to get the mission accomplished. He's a martial artist. He just believes he's good. That's exactly how I feel. So it was a cool experience. That was my first time ever doing that with a opponent. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy we did it.
Most important question: how's the beer?
Oh, the beer was good. A beer after a fight, even if it was only a 15-second fight, it's always good.
Yeah, it tastes a little bit sweeter. Did you gain a lot of UK fans from that? Because I saw that photo go everywhere on social media, and it seemed like it really kind of brought things in perspective that hey, we're cool, despite what happened, with the injury and everything. Like, did you find that you had a lot of people kind of giving you props for that? The fact that you guys had drinks after?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a lot, but everyone, I haven't heard anything negative because like I said, I think everyone just understands it's just an unfortunate accident and there's no one to blame. So it is what it is. Everyone's been super friendly. Everywhere we go, at least one person comes up and is like, it was going to be a hell of a fight. Sorry that happened. Oh, and you mind if I get a picture? And I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice.
That's cool, man. So we know kind of what's next. Obviously, I know you've said this in numerous interviews and even with me, I think, before the fight. Looks like the winner of Tuivasa and Gane is kind of what you're aiming at. I'm assuming that hasn't changed. That's kind of what you're looking at?
Yeah, that was the plan from the beginning. And hey, we won. It goes down as a win. So the mission is the same. I want the winner. Hopefully, I'll be able to be at that fight. I'd like to stay alive, get to scout my future opponent. That's a rare thing to already have an idea of who's on the horizon. So I like to take advantage of that.
Who wins that fight?
I would say Gane, but it's heavyweight, and Tuivasa's already shown in his previous fight versus Derrick Lewis, he can take a punch. So it's really the thing with him is the conditioning. Can he go 5 rounds? We know Ciryl can do it. We don't know if Tuivasa can, but also we don't know if he has to, because he has the power. If he's able to connect in any round, he's able to put anybody away. So, but I'm still going with Gane. I think he's smart enough to avoid the brawls, and he'll be able to just outlast some decision.
And do you think with him beating, I know he lost to Francis, but Francis also didn't knock him out in that fight either. Do you think that leads more to the case of what you're making there? And I think a lot of people feeling like Gane will win because he's fought a guy who has that threat of the knockout.
Yeah. Well, I would just remove the whole Francis fight as like a variable because he and Francis already know everything about each other. Like in that first round, like I didn't know how fast Aspinall was. I didn't know what's his like favorite combo, what's his favorite punch. When you already sparred a guy, you kind of already know. So that kind of removes the fear. Like you can just tell, okay, he's about to throw. Mm-hmm. I think with Tuivasa, this is going to be the first time. I think that first round is going to be the scariest round because that's when you don't know just how fast he is, because he is fast. He does have explosiveness. It's just it comes and goes. But when he has it, it's a problem.
Yeah. No, I completely agree there. So let's say Gane wins. You fight Gane. I know this is a fight we've talked about in the past. How do you look at that fight? Because what's interesting is obviously Ngannou had success taking Gane down, and I think people would agree here, you're probably the best wrestler in heavyweight right now. So from a style perspective, how do you look at a fight with Gane?
I would approach it like I approach every fight. Besides the Mark Hunt fight, when I fought Mark Hunt, we knew we were going to have to rely heavy on the wrestling, just because he was at that stage of my career. He was leaps and bounds ahead of me as a striker. We just didn't want to risk that game. But everyone besides him, it's always been optional. It's just people have allowed the takedowns so easy that it turns into a wrestling heavy performance. But I'm always open to doing what I did against August or what I did against Junior Dos Santos. That's the beauty of my style, is I like to have the option of either or. Like if you're going to overly defend the wrestling, okay, we won't force it. We'll look for the knockout. If you're just going to give me the takedowns like Volkov did, okay, I'll just take the takedowns. And hopefully I'll do better at getting off my ground and pound.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's an interesting matchup if it does come to fruition. It looks like, though, right now, if I had to take a guess, I mean, it looks like Stipe and Jon Jones is going to happen next. Do you think Francis fights the winner of that? And then, again, not looking too far ahead here, but you kind of have to a little bit with the division. Do you think it's Stipe Jones, winner fights Francis next?
Yeah, if it actually happens. If it happens, yeah. Because, that would be, for the UFC, that would be a lot of money, a lot of pay-per-view buys. So, like, I couldn't even blame him. But I'm still 50-50 on if Stipe and Jon actually fight, because it shouldn't take this long. It shouldn't be this hard. Like it seems like somebody is holding it up. I don't know if it's Stipe, I don't know if it's Jon, I don't know if it's the UFC, but someone's holding this up. So I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think Stipe beats Jones if they fight, just because he's been a little bit more active? Although saying that, Stipe hasn't fought in almost a year now.
Well, yeah, I picked Stipe because he has 5-round heavyweight experience. Mm-hmm. I know Jon, he has a lot of 5-round experience at light heavyweight, but the punches are a little heavier. The power's different. Like takedowns are harder. Getting up is harder. Everything's just a little harder when you're like 40 pounds heavier. Mm-hmm. So we don't know how he's going to look. Like, is he going to have the same pop that he had in the 4th round at light heavyweight? At heavyweight, I don't know. But I know with Stipe he is, because I've seen him do it multiple times. So I'm going to go with Stipe.
Stick with some other fights. What did you make of them making this Khamzat Chimaev and Nate Diaz fight headlining UFC 279? What did you think of that?
We know what it is. Like, they want to, and they're like, all right, you want to leave, Nate? Here you go. We already know what it is. Like they're gonna send them. They're hoping to send them off with an ass whooping, a brutal ass whoopings.
So, well, obviously, it sounds like we know who you're picking. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious if you look at the betting lines. Chimaev's like a huge favorite. How does that fight play out with Chimaev and Diaz?
It's sad to say. I think he ragdolls him. I think he doesn't have the strength. Chimaev, when he was able to ragdoll the Chinese fighter,
Li Jingliang, the leech,
yeah. When he ragdolled him, I know how strong he is because he the leech fought my homie Neil, and Neil told me how strong he was. So for him to just manhandle him, I don't think he is. Like I think he's just not strong enough. Like he has the skill, but he's a 5-round type of fighter. This isn't going to be 5 rounds. Chimaev is going to pounce on him early and he's super aggressive. He's gonna blitz him. It's almost going to be like Ngannou, except with wrestling.
Yeah, no, really interesting fight. And then just one more fight I wanted to ask you about that they announced recently. Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. What an interesting fight is. What do you think of Islam getting the shot? Some people feel like, hey, well, he hasn't fought the opposition, but at the same time, we want to see him tested. And what a better test than Charles Oliveira.
This is the only fight to make right now, and it's the best matchup. He has the grappling, he has the wrestling, he has the striking. He has the best hope of being able to survive on the ground with Oliveira. And that's what you have to do. Because even a guy like Gaethje, who's extremely dangerous on the feet, all Oliveira has to do is fall on his butt. And now he gets to hang out. Because nobody else wants to go down there. And for good reason. He's a monster down there. But Islam's also a monster on the ground. So, yeah, I think it's a great matchup. I mean, I would still pick Oliveira, but I think this is going to be his toughest title defense yet.
I was talking to one of your teammates there, Zach, who's going to be fighting in the finale. So you're flying right from the UK to Vegas, or are you going to Colorado then going to Vegas? How are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm going to Colorado first, and I'll get to Vegas on Friday morning.
That's cool.
I need to sleep a little bit.
I was going to say, yeah, you need to catch up there. Well, how cool has it been, seeing Zach, who's been one of your main training partners, go through the Ultimate Fighter, make it to the finale, and now you get to corner him in his debut. What does that mean to you as a teammate?
I mean, it's awesome. I'm happy I get to be a part of his the journey, and it's a blessing to have been able to see it from the beginning and watch every step of the development, from when he didn't even know how to throw a punch, and he's an amateur, and he's an LFA, and he's on the Ultimate Fighter, and now he's in the finale. It's almost like a movie. It feels like a movie.
Everything that's played out and again, I know Mo Usman, who he's fighting, trained with you guys, so there's a lot of familiarity there. Does that make it easier for Zach in a way because he's familiar with the guy already, spent all this time on the show with him too? So do you think that helps a lot just because Zach's got that insight? I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Mo, but Zach's been the one who's been at elevation longer, right?
Mm-hmm. I think the familiarity for Zach, I think it gives him a lot more confidence because, like I said, with Francis versus Gane, you already know the speed, you know the power, you know what they like to do. So I think that removes that bit of anxiety. But it is heavyweights, so it only takes one punch. I think Zach's he's gonna show everybody his improved striking and wrestling. I can attest to that. He's taking me down. That doesn't happen often. He's earned every takedown he's gotten on me in sparring. And I think we're going to see a little bit of that also.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. And I imagine for you, the Gane Tuivasa fight is early September. Do you think a fight between the winner of that could take place this year, like maybe in December? Is that kind of what you're hoping for as far as your next fight?
I'm not in a rush. I just made a good bit of money. So December, January, however long they need, because you never know. Is it going to be a war? Is it going to be a 20-second KO? You never know.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. Any plans for the rest of the summer? I know you got business to handle on Saturday, cornering Zach, but do you got anything else planned this summer? Because summer's winding down. I'm sure your daughter's got to get ready for the upcoming year, right?
Yeah. I've got a wedding to go to the week after this fight, and then I will be going down to see my daughter later on this month, and then I'll probably be back in the gym because I'm not injured or nothing. So yeah, I'll probably just get back to work.
And I think I asked you this last time, but thoughts on the Bears this upcoming season? You optimistic? How you feeling?
I'm not optimistic. It's we're still rebuilding, and an offensive the line's a mess. We don't. I don't know who our best receiver is right now. I guess it's Darnell Mooney. He's not bad, but is he a number one? I don't know. So we'll see. I don't have high hopes. I'll tell you that. I don't have high hopes.
Well, I have high hopes that you're hopefully going to be fighting the winner here of Tuivasa and Gane. We'll see what happens here. But in the meantime, man, safe travels. Thanks for doing this, Curtis. Again, I know you're still on vacation, but I appreciate you making the time. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any social media, any sponsors, anything like that, I'll give you the last word.
No sponsors to really shout out, but always appreciative of my team, Elevation, my coaches, Vinny Lopez, Cody Donovan, and just really excited to go to Vegas for Zach's debut and hope he wins.